In the previous video, we taught you how to prepare for an interview. Now in this one, we're going to actually take it. Welcome to VFR Radio. This is specifically restaurant radio. We're in VFR Radio where you talk about anything in general. But let's talk about this interview that you're going to go to. I took some notes so I can go over it with you. So I want you to take notes too, so make sure you always have a pen. Look, anytime I wear a button down, especially a button down, I carry a pen on me. Make sure there's a pen in there. If you're a male or female, doesn't matter. Always make sure you have a pen on you, whether you have a button down with this kind of pocket here or not. So make sure you have your resume in hand, and we're going to go over resumes and applications in another video. Right now we're going to try to keep this as detailed as possible, or short and detailed as possible, so you can go into your interview with confidence. You're going to be nervous naturally, but we want to try to take off that pressure. So let's go through it. The interview. You're going to walk in and greet the person, the host or the server, whoever is at the front door. You want to walk in there and make sure you greet them. Remember the name that we spoke about. Always save the name. You want to make sure you remember that name and who you're meeting, because once you go in there and you start with I forgot, it's really hard to forget in this day and age, especially if you're communicating or corresponding through emails. You want to make sure you definitely have the name saved in your head or in hand. It doesn't matter. Make sure you take notes and follow me. So after you're greeted and, whoever is meeting who, make sure you ask for a menu and study your environment. Make sure you pay very close attention to what's going on. You want to have the menu in hand for a few reasons. If you're going in for a cook position, you want to make sure that you can cook everything on there. You want to make sure that you're confident enough to even offer your own recipes if you have to. And, something that correlates with what you're cooking. So definitely want to know the drinks. If you're a bartender or a server, you want to just know what's going on in your environment and the job that you're about to apply for. If the host or the server or even the manager or even the owner offers you a drink, just take it. Take the drink. And I'm not talking about an alcoholic beverage, obviously. I'm talking about tea, coffee, water. You want to be as comfortable as possible. And please make sure you use the bathroom beforehand, so you could take some of that extra pressure off if you're feeling over anxious or just anticipating a yes or no answer right away, which is common. But again, make sure you're as comfortable as possible. Make sure you're dressed comfortable. And if you have to use the restroom, make sure you do it. Now, when the manager approaches the table, make sure that you get up no matter what the situation is. Make sure you stand up and try to shake their hand or try to make some kind of contact. Now, this is obviously pre or post-COVID. Traditionally, when it comes to greeting anyone in the United States of America, at least, we shake hands. That is custom. So when the manager or the hiring manager or the owner approaches your table, make sure you stand up and just show a little gratitude and respect. Thank you for having me. Thank you for taking the time out to speak to me and go through this interview. Remember, an interview is just a conversation. That's all it is. Someone is vetting you to see if you qualify for the position. But most importantly, it's a conversation, and you want to keep that conversation open, but don't talk too much. So let's go through the list again. So right now, we walked in and greeted, ask for a menu, see what's going on in your environment, take the drink. If they offer you any kind of drink, water, tea, coffee, just take it, orange juice, apple juice, whatever it is. Make sure you use the restroom. Make sure you greet the person that's approaching your table by standing up, either shaking their hand or doing a bow now because we can't, or maybe a little fist bump. So when you guys are at the table and you're talking, right, or if the person interviewing you is talking, don't interrupt them and try not to ask questions until they ask you, at least at first. If you want to chime in and make an assertion or just say anything in general, just make sure you slightly raise your hand like, hey, can I get your attention? If not, just let them, if they don't want to stop, let them continue talking, because they're probably about to make a point and answer your question that they already know that you're about to ask. It's very important to make eye contact. It's very important to pay very close attention to the body language. It's very important to just not try your best to just keep calm and not get ahead of yourself, if that makes sense. So when they are ready for you to ask questions, do you have any questions after the interview? And we're going to keep this short, not too long, because I just want you to be prepared and as comfortable as possible and get general knowledge of what it takes to go through an interview and what you're going to go through. So when the hiring manager is done speaking, said what they had to say, now is the time for you to ask questions, and you probably should at least have 2 to 3 questions in hand. There has to be a question that you have to ask. You don't know everything. They don't know everything. They cannot read your mind. So the best thing you want to do is absolutely ask any question that you have, because no question is stupid. And when I say stupid, I mean it by definition. Okay? Not to insult. A lot of the words in the dictionary that we have, we commonly use them as weapons. We weaponize a word and we say it and not even mean it, by the definition. But anyway, when I say stupid, I mean by definition, no question is stupid. Any question is ready to be answered by the manager unless you catch them off guard. If they're skilled, you won't catch them off guard. But sometimes you can, and I do, because I start interviewing the interviewer. That's just how I am, and naturally speaking, that's just how I am in general. And I'm not saying you want to be like me. I'm not saying you want to be like someone else, but I will tell you that you do want to have that conversation. All it is an exchange of words. Does it work out for you? Does it work out for me? Don't think just because the manager is there that they are superior to you. That most of them, some of them talk down and they think that they're better, but the majority of the time they're genuinely interested in what you have to offer. How do you fit in this position? Does this position fit your needs as well? Because you have to make sure that everything works out for everyone. You have bills to pay, and you can work from X amount of time to X amount of time. So make sure that job is not encroaching on your happiness, your freedom, and your peace, and your schedule as well. You want to make sure that you both mutually agree that it's going to work out for both of you, because it's a win-win situation, not a win-lose. Like, hey, you work for me or else. Or if you hire me or else. It's sort of, let's do this together, because once they take you on into the company, now you're now a team. Doesn't matter if you're working with the owner, the manager's son, the lowest person on the totem pole. What matters is that you're all a team. It's one functioning vehicle. And I went through that in season 2 in How to Restaurant. If you go back into this channel, find season 2 of How to Restaurant, and I talk about how the employees and the business and the infrastructure is equivalent to a vehicle, a moving vehicle. So you could go back and catch that. And no matter what the circumstances are, leave your problems at the door. If they start asking you questions of how your day is going, and it doesn't matter if your cat passed away, it doesn't matter if your car is having problems, it doesn't matter what's going on in your personal life, that all should be left at the door. Because one thing I'm going to tell you as a hiring manager, I make sure that whatever problems I try to figure out exactly what's going on at that moment. And once you show a weakness and you start complaining about something that's first world problems, specifically first world problems, that's when I become concerned. Because if I have a nice, smooth running team, I don't want someone that's going to be in there like a disease and cancer and start complaining to other people and bringing in that negative energy into the company. Although sometimes even me, I'm guilty for it, we do have negative days. But you got to try your best to make it positive and try to take away the negativity when you go through the door, and just leave it at the door, because it's going to be waiting regardless. So to help take pressure off of yourself, man to man, man to woman, make sure you leave your problems at the door. And when you're answering questions, don't talk too much, obviously. Don't give them too much. Don't volunteer information. Leave the suspense going. Let them know. Don't let them know everything that you're capable of doing. Just, take it a day at a time. let them build interest in you and hire you first, if that makes sense. And regardless of how you feel about how the interview went, make sure you leave happy, because sometimes you can misinterpret. I'm guilty for that as well. I think and I see past a lot. I'm very methodical. I'm organized, and it's when I'm sitting there and I read something a little bit off, like body language, or if this person said that. Sometimes I'll leave an interview, or even if someone leaves my interview, I feel a little insecure, because I'm like, it's okay. Either way, make sure you keep that positive energy going, and make sure you leave happy regardless, because you had an opportunity to sit with someone else. Regardless if they liked you or not, you still had that opportunity to give it your all. And if you don't get this job, just do better in the next. So we're going to see you tomorrow. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to talk about resumes and applications. And I'll see you in the next one.
All aboard!